and it's my cousin. At that point, I realized that my cousin made porno movies. In fact, I began to, also my friend and I were like going like this, like there's like something from the ceiling. Yeah, there was a guy in the back. There were a lot of kids in that thing.
Rican showed me without somebody knocking some bongos. I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight on this Easter weekend. We have a special show for you tonight. We are videotaping this because we have gotten the word from Talking Wall Pictures that this is going to be made into a film starting in May. So what you will see this evening is the project that we've been putting together since last November. So you get a first look. I'm very excited about that. Mr. David Amram is in the audience tonight with us. He will be joining me shortly on stage. When I was a young man, many years ago, when I had much more hair than this, I met David in 1977. I was a reporter for Latin NY Magazine. I was wet behind the ears, and this man had been to Cuba. The very first time that they had opened up Havana for musicians and artists to go, it was a very important story of its day. People who were involved in the Latin music industry were really looking forward to that. David was among the first to go and witness what was happening culturally in Havana, regardless of politics. I got to meet him after that, and he opened up a whole world to me. Unbeknownst to me, but knownst to others, he had been part of a long tradition of working in the East Village and in the Village, working with aspiring writers, noted writers like Jack Kerouac. He appeared in a film called Pull My Daisy, which is a seminal work in the Beat generation. He invited me to dance at the Brooklyn, it was with the Brooklyn Philharmonic, or the Brooklyn Academy of Music. He was conducting this huge orchestra. And I had my friend at the time when we went down, and he actually asked me to get up and do a mambo with the orchestra. And I, for a young guy in New York, to be able to do that in my own hometown was really a moment of pleasure. And I always said to myself, I would repay him in some way. The show will explain to you where I'm coming from as far as writing is concerned. I'd like to bring David up right now. And in Cinco Cero Tre of 161st Street, Billy Zombie comes out the side of his neck, sells wolf tickets with glimmers that peel the insides of lesser cobras, competing for strikes in the bush. Cubicle thoughts neatly arrange themselves in Billy's mind. Crime does not pay. At At least not the way lesser children try to pull it off. Billy Zombie is a dog patrol jammer from the giddy-up. For him, Susie Sidewinder is heaven on earth. The pale fall moon moans as Billy makes love to Susie. Never with her, but through her. Susie's lust is to linger with him. Susie's lust is to rapture and chaos, being swept far away as Billy's vice fills her. The stars desert the sky and rush to fill her eyes as she lies, while Billy pumps her lips up and down, all around with a circular motion, swallows her whole. She comes hard, sits straight up, impeding, repeating, succeeding, rushes up, ecstasy, ecstasy. Oh, Billy, you can crawl across my bed sheets on your eyebrows anytime, my man. You may be a bitch to others, but you're an angel in my eyes. Two caramel blackbirds singing little blue lies along the lazy side streets of the jungle gone mad. In between the sexing, Billy rides to loot night to night, and with Susie, leave little pieces of themselves on the extreme highway. While pulling stickers, each one richer, bolder, brazen enough to rob the restaurant the building they lived in. Going back later for a late supper, acting sharp as the cantina owner spilled his drinks, his woes. You don't say. They robbed you? They robbed you? Oh my God, who would do a thing like that to you? Billy Zombie and Susie Sidewinder are two necessary evils in this part of God's little acre. For them, they're meant for the life. But without them, witness would be a bland, indistinguishable routine. They apologize for nothing. They're not conceited. They're not conceited. They're convinced that crime does not pay. At least not the way I do it. And he has a lot of credits that you can find on his website, davidamram.com. If I let him talk, he'd be here all night. David can talk. Now we'd like to do the show for you. Thank you very much, Mr. Amram. One moment, please. I hope you have a good time. I certainly already am. String sounds, please. It's fall in Brooklyn, 1963. My mother and father search D Street and Hoyt for their wild child. A turquoise-dressed martyr and a drunken fallen angel, desperately driven by the tears of God. ¿Dónde está mi hijo? ¿Dónde está mi hijo? Que Dios lo protege. Where is my son? Where is my son? May God protect him. I've escaped from their world without so much as a vital leap. The first step as a runner in the great game. I'm aided by my babysitter son Richie, who borrows me for the afternoon. It doesn't say where we're going. Shh! Vente conmigo, cabal, vente conmigo. Come with me. We climb ancient stairwells to an afternoon red party, a Brooklyn Heights holiday. I spy Mommy and Poppy from the third floor window. My silence cuts our umbilical cord. As Richie, the Latino man, plays his conspicuous blues. His hands detonate a jet black bomb of a grand piano, whose sound swings through the band apartment, where the musical notes come like wave after wave after wave on a sunny day at Coney Island. I'm scared and fascinated. I taste my fingers sweet with caramel. Cherry blossom and almond scent on the freshly painted rooms settle on my 7-year-old body. I am seduced by the beauty of New Rican music. Richie returned me home late in the afternoon explaining as best a 17-year-old could that he had lost track of time. Richie, Ricardo Rey, had started time for me. The streets of New York always called me, always enjoyed it. I'm a cultural terrorista, a creative anarchist. I drink, I smoke, I gamble. I live the life I love. I love the life I live. And even if I were to lose it all tomorrow, even if it all went away, I still have my memories and my dreams. The 1970s in New York. The Bronx is on fire. My family's out of control. I'm out of control.
Óyeme, Luis, ¿qué tú estás haciendo? ¿Tú tienes problemas? ¿Tú tienes problemas en la cabeza? ¿No me mata mongo?
Louis, what is all this stuff that you want to be an artist? Why don't you go back to college? Why don't you learn a trade? Make some money.
Mami, what did you do now? What did you do now?
I stumbled onto the Lower East Side to look for some answers. Lower East Side! And there, I found them. Maybe they found me, the poets. At a time when no one was paying attention to Puerto Ricans in the mainstream, not the movies, not radio, not television. There were the poets who told us who we were and who we might become. I'm 19, young, beautiful. Hell, I'm even desired. I took myself to the original New York Poets Cafe on 6th Street. It's an adventure. Muy buenas noches y bienvenido aquí al New York Poets Cafe, donde los hombres son hombres, las mujeres son mujeres, y todos los perritos les gustan la gran poesía. Buenas noches! Oh man, this place is weird. Looks like the Twilight Zone. Oh, this is pretty dangerous. But I think I'll stick around. Something interesting might happen. Oh, Dad. That's Fernando Feliciano and Sandy Esteves, poet. That's Pedro Pietro, the playwright. Tito Goya, Bimbo Rivas, and Lucky Cienfuegos, those crazy actors. That's Miguel Piñero. Damn. Excuse me, are you guys part of the avant-garde? Va, que fue eso? From the middle of this group came the voice of God. Well, actually, it was like the voice of the little Martian from the Warner Brothers cartoon, Miguel Algarín. Oh, no! The avant-garde? Oh, dear boy. Oh, no. This has been going on for centuries. Bistros and the like. No, I think, honestly, that it more has to do with the authority of the room. I exude the authority in the room. You're going to have to transcend all those cliches, my man, if you want to have that definitive Latino hit. There is no beginning, middle, or end. There just is. You've got stories to tell. Write them down. Tell them. We are. What stories they were telling? In December of 1974, my parents gave me $20 for Christmas. It was a big Christmas. I went to the Vivian Beaumont Theater to check out this taboo play, Short Eyes, that Mikey Pinheiro had written. I didn't tell my parents where I was going because they didn't like me being part of that left-wing Puerto Rican militant stuff. And there was a moment in that play, a short rap, a prison rap, a street rap, a rap before there was rap, where it all made sense to me. It was the night before Christmas, and all through the pad, cocaine and heroin were all the cats had. One cat in the corner, counting a nine. Another scratching the floor, he was gone. I took on the phone and dialed a cab, hoping my reefer would soon be there. After a while, proud of my style, I ran to the door to see what's the matter. And to my surprise, I saw 5 police badges staring and glaring in my eyes. A couple of studs started to get tough, so I ran to the back to get rid of the stuff. Not bad. The bag in the rain, because with thick on my veins, went down the drain. Knocked on the door, threw me to the floor, took me away. That's how I spent Christmas Day. In a dark and dingy cell. But I didn't care because I was high as hell. I was cool. It was cool. That was cool. That's what I want to do. I want to be a writer. I want to be a poet. My name is El Extreme. I'm the last of the New Yorkers from that period to blossom. And I'm back in town. A creeper in bruised lives, a traitor in sultry secrets I absolutely have no right to know. A metropolitan skyjacker taking hostage the stray adventurer. I prey out of emptiness. A modern vampire of emotions. I have arrived brought by powers unseen to change the course of necessary evil in a dirty little town of ruin. Directions. Skyscrapers, boom! They just amuse me. Pits invite the taste of my special manipulations. Have you seen me? El loco cantinero of hyperventilated thoughts? Have you seen me? I arrived naked at the party, trying to check my clothes and announcing, oh, mira, I came to dance. I seduced the confused poet, the isolated lover, the struggling woman, the ambitious teacher to tell me their stories. I perform on stage, free of charge. Sparks fly from my steel-tipped heart. Create icons of indignity, ain't I the Boy Scout? Of impulse. Have you met me? My eyes tongue a red haze of silver spikes and black velvet fury. A Catholic born to rampage through hell. A new age saint with a customized rosario, who sweats benedictions as I ride her on an elevated rooftop with a pistol strapped to my back, each thrust sending off a bullet up between her legs, through her stomach, past her heart, coming out her lips into mine. A wild shot of cold-hearted lust as soot falls on us like soft black petals raining on both the living and the dead. A rogue dusky deck dancing on the edge of razors. I stalk runners with my boy Yo-Yo Mutalo to try to find ways to avoid our own stalkers. Night bombers in silk shirts and $400 shoes. Searching for keys broken off long ago and forgotten locks. Searching for the great game. And compromising every truth along the way. Forget about it, the place is doing the right thing, and I fade as a stand-up guy. Searching for a way in. I've been speeding so long, marking time, paying cops, burying partners, tricking queens, cruising shadows, whacking even priests. In dreams, reality cuts loose, avenues sliced into boulevards. Dodge City. I jump into my third world club car, reeking of polo and reefer, and artillery strapped on every extremity. I'm headed for a celebration. Yo-yo, He's spinning. Dead eyes, crazy glued on everything. A plastic mask for a face. 51 hand and 8 ball. Oh yeah. Oh man. Oh man. La coca está buena! In the other, a new kind of pool game without a clue. On guard from what? Ourselves? We suppose. Yo L. Yo L. Yo L. Yo L. Let's go visit the savages in Brooklyn! But we never get past the border. I go for a hit, take a drink, forget to steer, whoa no, and ran the divider. Savages aren't in Brooklyn. They're trapped. They're in the car. They're here. They're us. So I ask you, have you met me? Have you met me? Have you met me? I call collect from way inside. 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 Where I'm terrified. Ya-yo, ah. Ya-yo, eh. Ya-yo, eh. Whoa, whoa. Venga, mándame la historia, para que así yo pueda tocar una musiquita para ti, para que me entienden. Agua que va a caer, todo el mundo está bailando. Agua que va a caer, agua que va a caer, agua que va a caer. ¿Qué le pasa a ese muchacho? Está más tostado que un maní. Con un tubo y 7 llaves. It's the funniest thing we got going on in here, children. It's amazing any of you will get out of it alive. All I'm about to tell you is true. And if it's not, well, it should be. This place here. All these words I hear, all these voices that come to me. This is my life box. Let's go to the DVD in my mind. Why? Because I'm destined to be me. And don't call it deja vu. I see it all for the first time, every time, in real time. Pretty good, huh? Don't get lost. I'm just tripping. And I don't need a passport. I got a language. A language is a dialect that has an army and a navy. A New Rican poet is a writer who reads the top 10 list of writers in the New York Times, but those writers, they don't read him. I've only been concerned about one thing in my life, not being heard. Are you listening? I've seen thousands of New Ricans in my lifetime, and every one of them is either a fresh tragedy or a miracle of survival. Opportunities and survival in La America. Land of constitution, restitution, and prosperity. What to do? What to do? To look for answers. To look for answers. I pray before the light of an atomic TV. Conspiracies echo test patterns that flash between us. We survive in purgatory. Souls adrift like the electric snow on my twilight screen. A darling dream scheme. Self-righteous terrorists, we treat fear as casually as lit marls, inhaling desperate smoke and blowing out arrogant circles. A drowning man will even reach for the point of a sword in order to survive. I spend my days
making vertical and horizontal calculations along crooked streets of lights and shadows, possessed by an arrogant ambition to read the mind of God. But there's a price to pay, paying the toll, as I divide my time between chasing God and chasing the dragon, combining lethal doses of horse beat with cane, a perverse boy meets girl, hello Batlle. The gravity of my situation, bending the light of reason. Cut off from others, oblivious of their opinions and prejudices, I remain a child at heart, asking the simplest of questions, but obsessed with the human equation. How did God make the universe? How did God make it right? How does 1 + 1 equal 1? Solitude, my choice, because no one can take that from me. But as the temporal music of my solitude unfolds, so come the visions and the voices, the visions and the voices, the visions and the voices. I listen, and I'm transfixed.
Mira, poeta!
That's right, God sounds like a street corner viejito to me.
Mira, I was here before it started, and I'll be here after the end. I'm a hidden treasure that desires to be known. Therefore, I created you, my little poet, in order to be known. You want to transcend those cliches? Trust me, I walk with you.
An interior illumination that allows me to see through my soul's eyes becomes messages and G-forces that energize the atmosphere about me, becomes a deep well that I fall into, eagerly drinking from its waters, making a lasting moment out of a singular incident, becomes a shrine that all have access to. I am exhausted. I sit down, perfumed in stolen flowers and sodden lust, rocked by the cadence of the elusive one's breath. Songs, ya-yo, 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 and words, words, words. Words. Listen to the words I'm speaking. I'm not black or white, but Puerto Rican, dropping lyrical bombs at nighttime, jam with the flow of this word style. Que bueno son, solo Latinos. No apologies to the masses. It's doggy dog, got your back. I'm coming to get you, coming to wet you, coming to slam you. I'm a word gangster. Back by my gap in the shape of a pen, banging you, it's the jam I'm with. Riffing, tipping, spliffing, dipping, tripping. I play you straight. I'm not tricking, stupid. Wow, immaculate. Don't put your jammer on the straight tip. Boom, boom. Bueno son, boom, boom. Bueno son, boom, boom. Bueno son, solo Latino. Ven conmigo para ver una cosita bien bonita. Yo vine a vencer el nombre del latino. Loose translation? Damn, I love being Puerto Rican. I do. I'm married to it. Living in a cliche world that marches in front of me like an overweight homegirl wearing spandex and walking a chihuahua. Now, can you explain that to me? Chihuahua, chichos, and a spandex suit? And what about homeboys wearing their hats backwards and walking pit bulls? Yo, what up, yo? What up, yo? What up, yo? What up, yo? Is there some kind of psychosexual thing going on here that I did not learn in Puerto Rican Studies 101? Hold up. Yo! Mira! Yo, man, get away from my car! I gotta know my car's hooked up. That's right, man. What are you, Helen Keller, running with that car? Come on, yo, keep on moving. My car's hooked up. My car is hooked up. In order to start this car, first you get in and put the key in the ignition. But then you gotta reach over and turn the lighter ever so slightly. Then reach behind the seat and throw a switch. Then reach underneath that switch and throw another switch.